Hello, Rebel GMAN Division 4 Seeders are your recapper for this season, Chug Milk, joined today by my co-caster, Lord Brainlord.
Hello.
So, we're your recappers for the season. This is going to kind of act as a pre-cap slash week one recap. We know that some of you haven't gone yet. There's 2 fixtures still to be played. We can't give you the traditional pre-cap where we give you our first predictions. We will look into game week 2 and give you predictions on that. We'll start up by looking at teams and all that, and we'll try and give you some sort of amalgamated mesh, but I kind of left it going. I left the pre-cap to sit for a while because there was like 4 admin teams in the division for a long time, and even now we don't have all the teams in yet, so I didn't think there was any point really getting started until... And then once people started actually showing their faces in the actual division, they started also playing their games immediately, so the pre-cap just couldn't have happened. This is probably the best chance we had. But anyway, are you excited to look at the teams, Mr. Brainlord?
I am thrilled to look at these teams. I've been waiting for this for a week at least.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Well, let's get started then. And we do have someone I recognise in this division, because I played with him last season in Division, whatever it was, last season, 4D, I think. And this is Crepslam's necromantic team, the Legion of Dead Metal.
I know him as well. We were in the same college league together, so...
Oh, fantastic.
We came up together, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, brilliant. Well, I don't need to therefore tell you that Crepslam's a pretty damn good coach.
Yeah, he beat me.
And he didn't beat me, so I'm allowed to be as laudatory as I want
Ooh.
because, you know, I don't have any salt towards him. But, yeah. Now, his team looks pretty good. Like, the key thing that he had last season, he has this season, is that in fact he has the movement 9 Edge 4 Wolf, that has Blodge and also Sure Feet. Or that Sprint?
That's a very nice wolf, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gutter runner wolf, but like with strength and armor as well and claws, so it's a brilliant piece. It's pretty much the backbone of his team. But then again, he does have pretty nice whites. He has 1 full killer white and 1 nice supporting white, both tackle. The other werewolf's on the way. He has block tackle, so you know, get a few touchdowns on that. You can maybe roll something like Mighty Blow. The flesh golems are looking a little bit. There's one really good one, and there's one that isn't at all good because he has no SPE.
12 games with no SPP is the curse of flesh golems, isn't it? It's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, horrible. It'd be like you start to get SPP on a flesh golem, and then one of them dies, and then it's just one always lags behind. If Crepslam wants to go for, you know, a playoff place, then do. But if Crepslam finds himself falling by the wayside early on, just start passing to the flesh golem at every given opportunity.
Definitely to see a bit of that, yeah.
There is one interesting thing, and again, Crepslam has played, so this is his team for week 2, going into week 2 as well. His block, diving, tackle, shadowing ghoul is missed next game.
I love shadowing, but yeah, it's sad to be injured. But yeah, this is a great, most interesting piece in the team. I'd say this.
Shadowing is interesting, but before sidestep, it's just really easy for like him to get knocked off and dealt with, I would say.
That's very true.
Shadowing is fine if you're going to go that way. But there is an interesting piece, and I hope shadowing works. I think I've had shadowing work like once, and it has won me the game the one time I had it.
It's so rare, but you just love to see it when it works
do.
out, don't you?
Fuck it, you love to see it.
Yeah.
So, in terms of his statistics over the last 2-3 seasons, fairly bang average. He has a winning record technically because he has more wins than losses. Picks up a lot of draws, but that just means he's happy to sort of like battle out for a point, and that's fine. I remember I went to 2nd place in my division last season by going 6-6-1, so draws are good. Again, he played in 4D last season, made a very good. He had, I think, a tough early season, but he did very well, pretty consistently after that at least. Just middle of the pack really. I beat him, and that's good. If I play any of these coaches, or I have ever played one of these coaches, I'll be like, oh yeah, I played him, I beat him. If I lose him, I won't mention it though. But yeah,
I was gonna say I think he's the only one I've played, and he beat
I've
fairly comprehensively, I think.
I've played none of these apart from Crepslam, so I won't be able to brag at all or be ashamed. So yeah, but Krebslim's team is looking good. It's a solid necromantic team. It has one or two weaknesses, I think. The second wolf needs to be online. He needs more SPP on that one glow golem, but that's usually not something he can control too often. If I had to say,
dirty player, do you think?
dirty player, yeah, he does need a dirty player, but at the same time, the one Kick's good. Kick's very fantastic for the fact that he has that really fast wolf, and he has.
Yeah, Agi 4 movement 9, you're going to get a lot of use out of Kick, aren't you, I think?
Yeah, he does need a dirty player, but I guess the one thing to say is that, hey, at least he's been lucky enough not to find many level ups on his zombies, because usually that's
Those are lean zombies, aren't they? Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, we had another necromantic coach in my division last season, alongside Krebslim, who had no skills anywhere. He had his entire team was really underdeveloped because it just kept dying, and he played the entire season at 1300 or 1400, pretty much rookie TV. But the one thing he did have was 3 dirty player zombies. I have to say, I think I like Krebslim's team a bit better. If I had to predict Krebslim where he'd finish in the table coming of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if he did another mid-table finish. We'll look at all the teams, obviously, but strength of coach, strength of his team, pretty decent team. It's not like a runaway favourite, but it's pretty solid for what it is.
It's very solid, I think, isn't it? You've got a bit of tackle, bit of guard, bit of everything. Can handle most things, I think. It's got a bit of a toolbox in that sense.
Yeah. He has he doesn't have a killer. He doesn't have a killer wolf really at all, but one. We'll see in a few games' time. Maybe the tackle block one will become a killer, and 2, well, at least he has the killer whites.
Yeah, there's no. I guess sometimes you see a wrestle ghoul, which I like. They haven't got anything like that, but otherwise, yeah, I think it's pretty.
Yeah, that's the second thing. He has the second ghoul and 1 SPP. I would say get that to be wrestle tackle as soon as you can, and
yeah,
that just adds another sort of dimension to his play. But we'll move on now. That's. Where do you think Krebslim's going to actually finish? Just before I forget, do you think Krebslim's going to do pretty well?
I think maybe upper mid. Well, it depends. I'd say the other teams, but I think this is it's a solid looking team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's got any glaring weaknesses, so I think it could do pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, we now move on now to Carl Jaeger's Wood Elf team, Shergard Elf Storage. This team hasn't played, so this is how it looks for game 1. And it is quite an amazing Wood Elf team for what it is. It has a bit of the old Death Spiral, because it has a few blowers here and there. But you have 2 pretty good War Dancers, a very unfortunate Edge Bust on one of them, but at the same time...
Yeah, it turns into a very strange player as a result of that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he still leaps on a 4, I guess. He has built-in dodge, and you can't fire him at all because he has strength up.
He's still too good, isn't he?
He has
but
Pom.
He's almost not really a War Dancer. I'm guessing you're not going to be doing the leaps with that guy when you've got Animal Mother on the team.
Oh, absolutely. I think he has double Mighty Blow War Dancers, which is one of them with a move up. So joking can just be the thing that 3 dices goblins or clears paths, and it'll work for Carl, And if he wants to just go smash a ghoul in the face by jumping straight in, Animal Mother is more than useful for that.
Yeah, they're really good, I think.
But alternatively, if he doesn't even do that, he could also use Lockhart, this leap rod.
Leap on a 2.
Yeah, leaps on the 2. So if he doesn't even have to ever risk these War Dancers. He has essentially 3 War Dancers, and then his catchers, 2 of his catchers at least, are pretty good. Both guard, both blodge. One's a move up, so that's a scary piece. And even the Treeman is also brilliant. Block, grab, guard.
That's basically the Dream Treeman, isn't it? I think
it's quite literally perfect. And this is a very scary team. The only thing it's really missing is one of the catchers being a rookie kind of sucks, but hey, they'll level up in a game. The thrower probably needs dodge or accurate or leader.
Yeah, but it depends. Some widows aren't that thrower heavy, are they?
That's true, and considering the strength of even Lockhart can become whatever he wants. He can be Retriever, he can be Sacker, He can be thrower even because of the Ad 5. It really, this team can do anything. It's just really like a strong elf team. For that reason, I'd say that just on paper, this looks to be one of the ones that we could be sending to the playoffs. You have to look at all the other teams that we mentioned, but on strength of this team alone,
it looks very good, doesn't it?
yeah,
I'm jealous
definitely.
of this.
Now, looking at the record, it seems like Carl has like up and down seasons. 19 wins, 5 draws, 18 losses. So he doesn't really play for the tie. It's either all or nothing for this coach. He played.
Yeah, it looks like he's come off the back of a bad season after a couple of decent ones, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like a bit of a death spiral.
I have no, like, what's the word? I've never looked at this team before. I have a vague inkling of Carl. I don't know if he made playoffs or Sippy Cup last year. He's played some really good coaches, like he's played Sean Mann. He's played, I think that was Valenic. He's played, yeah. So he's been quite up there. He's been up there in the divisions. I can't tell if some of these were games he played in the Sippy Cup or games he played in the playoffs. To those who are in the division and who'll be watching this and be like, how do you not know this important piece of lore? Shout at us and tell us and inform us. We could have done our research beforehand, but we prefer not to have our minds and our perceptions muddied by that research. Yeah, we prefer to be ignorant and willfully so.
Coming in with clear eyes, that's how we're
yeah
saying it, I think.
yeah we'd rather see how you do this season and also how good your team looks rather than anything known as a previous record or strength of coaching ability. For all that we know, you are like literal children who have been given these teams to play for this one season and never played Blood Bowl before. So yeah, but yeah, I think I've heard about Carl before. Carl's pretty good. And his team's fantastic. This is one of the ones I would say very likely to be up there for, if not playoffs, definitely Sippy Cup.
And it also just looks fun, doesn't it? Like, this is a team that I want to watch play games from looking at it.
Yeah, so we haven't 100% sat down and talked and decided like what we're gonna do for the recaps and all that in going forward. But we very well could have like spotlight games and sort of be like, well, I watched this game. Here's my brief abridged report. We might do that for you guys. If you'd like to see that, let us know. We're always here to take on your suggestions. But I think
to serve, yeah.
I think because Carl Yeager hasn't played yet, maybe we'll keep an eye on his game if his opponent accepts a ticket.
I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think the 2 games I haven't played are both just bye weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the other guy who's like not in yet does come back. Or I don't know. There's been a lot of drops here and there before the game weeks have even started. Like Big O lost 2 people in the same division. They had to, like,
have we got the problem division of GMAN then?
Oh, I hope not. I fucking hope not.
All the rowdy guys.
Well, it's only one guy who's not here anymore. Even though my division has 2 people still out. So, Christ, I don't want to be.
I didn't realise this is going on. I'm in a dreamland. Everything's working out fine for me.
Oh yeah. It's not quite good. Not as all well on the prairie. But yeah, good team. We'll move on now to our third team of the day, which is Rorimbo with his imaginatively named Rorimbo Orcs. And I think this is like a season.
It's 2 seasons or 26.
Yeah, it must be 2 seasons old. Somewhat surprising because usually you do see a 2-season-old like Orc team really explode and balloon, but it seems to have like 4 players that have just sucked up all of the MVPs and all of the SPP. And for that, he has 2 amazing Black Orcs, 2 decently strong Blitzers, but that's about it. Also, Linesman's pretty nice. But yeah, this team is not the strongest team I've seen. It has like 1 or 2 star players, but Orcs they benefit much more from just being solid across the board. I'd rather everything have like block, guard, or block, mighty blow, and then maybe tackle, than have like a Blodge Firm Black Orc and
It is
one.
fun, but yeah.
He's fun, but then you have like one Blodge Firm Black Orc, one second Troll, and then one Killer, and that's it. And one of his blitzers, who's like a supporting piece, is now armor busted and niggled, so he's dead. Rorimbo,
Yeah, that's an issue.
Rorimbo, get rid of that. That's dead. Don't keep that. I think he's played. I think Rorimbo has played. I'm not sure.
I think he's in the bye week actually.
Has he? Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he lost 7-0 to Crystal Hunter's team.
Ouch.
Yeah, I guess his team must have been destroyed during this. Ugh. Sorry, Rorimbo, but yeah, when you have the money, go fire that blitzer. He's dead. He's dead, Jim. Otherwise, we look at his record briefly. 6-10-10. Not a winning record. It's not the best record, but sometimes an Orc team does like explode into not only an SPP haul, but into life in the later seasons. Usually they are strong first season, second season, and then wane off, but you never know. I'll make a final judgment on that once we look at all the teams, but from just the strength of the team alone, I would say an Orc team always has the potential to be like a mid-table,
They're just so solid, aren't they?
Yeah, even when they are a bit lacking in certain respects. And I think Rorimbo will probably be mid-table to lower mid-table. It's hard to predict people at the bottom. Seems like had like a couple of tough seasons, and unless he gets some of these like blitzers to be useful, he could really struggle, in my opinion.
It's one of the things he could be getting a lot of losses, or he could be getting a lot of draws, and that could be the difference between sort of mid-table and towards the bottom, isn't it? It depends. It could be fine margins.
Absolutely, yeah. It again, we look at all the teams, but this is definitely one of the weaker teams for me, even though it's Orcs. That's my prediction.
And even those Black Orcs, they're
Well,
great.
Yeah, the nice thing is that the two of the star players are the Black Orcs. They're fantastic. And all the Black Hawks at least do have block, and one is like an MVP or a Kaz away from becoming a level 3 Black Orc. It shouldn't be hard to get the blitzers online. He might have just taken unfortunate.
Is what this team wants, I think. Do you think?
I think he's just probably taken unfortunate deaths here and there, and that's why this team looks like this. So hopefully this is like a rebuilding season, and he can do something like Cheesed in Rel 1 or Rel 2, where he just has a really solid Orc team by the end of it.
Because yeah, if you look at it's only 2 of the blitzers and the Black Hawks and the Troll have really been there the whole time, haven't they?
Yeah.
What blitzers? 1 game, 3 games. Throw is new. So yeah, could just maybe start conservative, play defensively, and then maybe, like you say, pick up some steam as you go.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was good. Looking into that, I wouldn't have thought of that. See, that's good research. That's why you have a co-caster.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. We'll move on now to the Dark Elf team, the Alfheim Artists, coached by Dark Quark. This looks okay. I guess this is probably 2 seasons. Could be 2 seasons. Could be 1 season. But this team is very solid.
This is 1 season, isn't it? Yeah.
This is unexciting for the most part. It has a pretty good Witch Elf in Frida Kahlo, and it does have a guard line elf, I guess. But otherwise, it's quite an unexciting team. It's just very standard. But hey, Dark Elves do pretty well, not being too crazy. And we did see a first season Dark Elf team that didn't have a crazy amount of like stat ups and doubles in Grain's Dark Elf team win the entire thing in the Super Bowl. It's solid enough, and it'll do very well.
This doesn't look that dissimilar to that, does it? I mean, like you said, is it like one double and 1 stat up on the whole team? But
yeah,
also those blitzers, blood step tackle. It's pretty good, isn't it? You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, like it will be an absolute nightmare to play against positionally. It has a fantastic time against other elf teams. All the tackle means it's very anti-elf, anti-stunty, anti-anything really with dodge. He does have the guard just in case he needs to shove something. He wants to take a little bit of a bash ward to someone, so he just shoves it in there. It's like a bunch of blocks that didn't exist before now exist. So it does look pretty tasty and pretty juicy as a team, just because it's consistent and it has SPP everywhere. The only weakness it has really is the lack of the level on 1 blitzer, but that's literally a vanity pass away, so he will completely solve that in a single game. yeah, there's nothing to really say about this team apart from it's very solid. Not exciting, but very solid.
I've seen a team like this. It does sort of. You've got no excuse. It leaves a lot on the coach, doesn't it? If it's that
Yeah.
sort of standard, which I'd be very scared to play a team like this on that basis.
Yeah.
You've got nothing to blame, but also no like real stars to fall back on either.
Yeah, exactly. This is you could say this is the definition of like an upper mid table team. It should perform very well. There's not gonna be a lot of teams that like show it up, but it depends on how well the coach plays. I don't know Dark Quark. His record suggests he's pretty solid of a coach. 10-5-6 isn't bad at all. Uh, some of those losses could have also happened during Greenhorn, so Greenhorn doesn't really matter. He seems to have had a pretty hard like last two games of the season, but been pretty decently consistent over his season just gone. A lot of 1-1s, sometimes 2-0s, sometimes does lose 2-0. Not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, that team for me screams upper mid table. I think from what you say, you'd agree.
I think so. I think looking, he's only played 10 games, I think, and this is actually, although we're saying it's quite standard, that's pretty good to get to from 10 games. So I think yeah,
It's
upper half at least,
he's
maybe even higher.
he's played 21. He's won
Oh,
10.
really?
Yeah, he's won 10. Maybe it is 2 seasons old. Um, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's solid. It's solid still. Yeah, I think it stands. It's just a solid team.
And that you got to say, Frida Kahlo, we've not mentioned it much. That's a game winner, isn't it? I think.
5 ads just wins games. 5 ads, 7
Yeah.
movement is a game winner. There'll be the only issue is that the Dark Elf team. We'll look at the clubhouse. No Wizard Stadium. But if every time that Dark Elf team would get a wizard, it would pretty much be able to wipe a floor of someone or just win off the back of that. The only issue is that because it has SPP literally everywhere, it's a bit too bloaty. Being the highest team value team, I think, in the entire highest team value team in the division so far.
That's a big team.
So that could be the issue. Like it giving away wizard or too many inducements isn't usually a terrible thing. It can survive that, but it's also not on like it isn't lean enough to really make too much use of the Edge 5 as one would expect it usually to do. The Edge 5 can still win the game if he plays solidly enough to sack the ball by forcing people into positional errors. Again, I don't know Dark Quark, so I don't know how solidly he plays. We'll have to check out one of his games early on in the season to sort of make that decision ourselves, I think. Maybe next week I'll look at one of his games and see how he does. But it is quite bloaty, as Elf teams are. But it's solid enough, I think, to offset that. The Edge 5 definitely is a winner by itself.
Yeah. So it's high TV, but it's not wasted. It's all quite tight for what it is. So
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's one of the ones to beat, this team.
Yeah. We're going to Chaos now. No one likes to see Chaos in their league. Okay, this is a Chaos team that makes a statement. So, this Chaos team, it has 2 warriors that went Mighty Blow first. It has a Chaos warrior that went Block Mighty Blow. There's a lot of Mighty Blow, basically. And it has 2 guards, but both of the guards are carrying Niggles. Yeah. This is a bit of a wacky team. And also it has probably my biggest pet peeve that I can ever find on a Blood Bowl team. Which is tackle first. Tackle first on a Beastman or like nothing. Yeah, I don't like that. Tom Racing has an okay record for an early Chaos team, 7-5-10. Chaos does take a few seasons to get going. It's like that's an acceptable kind of record for someone who is playing for a perpetual league rather than like a spin ladder record. So I don't too mind that. But I will say this team has some deficiencies in it. One, the Minotaur is usually bloat, but I guess he has blocks, so he could be useful, but it's still up to debate. The fact is that we have so much Mighty Blow first is just a little bit disappointing. Because as anyone who has gone Mighty Blow first on the Chaos team knows, Guard is what really wins you games, and Mighty Blow will have games where it just doesn't fire. But hey, I guess if it's fun, it's fun.
I suppose if you are playing to build, you are more likely to get those SPPs, aren't you, with a bit more mighty blow.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, like that's the theory at least. Um, I've seen some prominent Blood Bowlers, faces of the community, streamers, that kind of thing, say, "Oh well, in the Perpetual League, going Mighty Blow first is actually pretty good for getting SPP," which is definitely 100% playing to the whole meta of you don't like your first 2 or 3 seasons don't really matter. You can just do whatever you want and then come back and be a kill stack. Trying to compete when you're like way too young is going to get you thrown into the playoffs and potentially like get destroyed. So fair play. I would have liked to see probably block still on the Chaos Warriors first, because I think the statistic roughly is I'm could be bullshitting, I could be right, but you're more likely to probably score a Kaz by having the option to like have block to knock things down rather than Mighty Blow straight up. Usually, Mighty Blow will fire less than just getting blocks through block being there. However, for all that said and done, this is definitely a season where I think it's going to explode into that kind of SPP boon that will turn it into the proper kill stack, amazing Chaos team. It has some fantastic players on the wings. Chaos Warrior Blodge Mighty Blow is pretty good. It has a fully online Beastman carrier. Blodge Sure Hands is brilliant. The only issues I think are he needs to. They're his only guard, but he needs to do away with both of these beast mode niggles.
Yeah, having both to go with both the niggles is not ideal, is it?
No,
One
it's
isn't even at the block, so he's going to be a prime target every game, isn't it?
he needs to get like I know it sucks to like go backwards on a team, but these will just lose you games. If you want to just like keep them because they might win you certain games because they don't armor break, and you want to just get your development going for this entire season and whatever, keep them, I guess. But those two are fires for me immediately. You have the money to replace them with like fresh beastmen, and at least you're not like being punched by Mighty Blow from like a human team or an elf team, and then those beastmen are essentially acting like halflings or stunties. So yeah, if I had to say where this team would go, this is a team for me that's going to end up on like the lower part of the table. It's just not that solid for me. It needs a season to develop. It's in its building season still. So, and it has a few glaring issues, I think. Yeah, lower table for me. What about you?
I think, similar. I mean, look at it, was it last season? He came 11th, 526. I could see something fairly similar happen this time, I think.
Yeah.
Like you say, it doesn't have all the tools you'd think you'd need. And when you've got things like you've got tackle, but on a guy that only has tackle, things like that, these are going to make problems for yourself, I think.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. We'll go on to a different team now, and we'll go on to Freya's Guard, a Norse team, which is coached by Glordian. And this team, it looks a little bit better than the Chaos team in terms of being effectively online, being killers, and having a lot of things to it. You'll love this little piece, the 5 strength linesman.
You've got to be happy with that, haven't you?
5 strength linemen are really fun. I've seen a 5 strength lineman here and there on all sorts of teams. You've never seen joy until you've seen a 5 strength underworld linesman, which is always amazing. A line rat with 5 strength is just fun as all hell.
Yeah, that's the dream, isn't it? Whereas this, we've got a movement 6 shadowing piece that's coming out to me there.
Yo, tackle shadowing, that's weird. Okay, yeah, I didn't notice that one.
That's an odd one, but
yeah.
I like it. I'd like to see how effective it actually is, but
yeah, I can't wait to a game.
Slow for a shadower, but yeah, hopefully some great behaviour.
I like to think that maybe he just missed the fend button and hit that, but who knows?
It could be completely integral to how this team plays.
Maybe. Well, look at this. This is the statistics. 909. Again, another person who takes no half measure. He's in it or he's out of it.
See that, I think.
Yeah. So this team's got some pretty good killers. It has the tackle mighty blow. It has tackle piling on. With also dodge. That's a blodge piece. He has his claw mighty blow yeti. His off runners are looking a little bit not so good. At least he managed to fit like guard one of them. His runner with the move up and the blodge sidestep is pretty solid of a piece. He'll win games by himself, essentially. He does have his own guard as well on the linesman. It's always nice to roll a double. And as you know, he has a second Yeti, essentially, with the linesman with 5 strength.
Which, yeah, something like that can really change your team, can't it? Apart from that, it could look a bit standard, but then you got that there,
Yeah,
and you like it, aren't you?
this team isn't horrifically weak in any one regard. Like, it could use more levels on the Elf runners. That's the big thing for me. And
Mm.
he's struggling for. I would say he should think about something like guard for the other berserker with the tackle. Guard should like fit onto some of these pieces when he can. Um, he's very close to a second level. I really think he should think about getting more guard elsewhere, just because you
That
know.
Yeti's very close to his next level up as well. That could
Yeah,
be another candidate for that potentially.
I would probably put Juggernaut on the Yeti though.
But yeah, I think I would definitely go for that.
Yeah. Although then again, at the same time, this coach that could like ignore guard completely, because he has a strength 5 linesman. So who's gonna guard lock you in this
Yeah,
league?
you can break through anything with that, really, can't you?
If this league, as it looks like it is gonna be, is full of like elf teams and hybrid teams, this team will be fine for what it is. Doesn't need that much guard. The elf runners are pretty good, but they're just there to be the 8 armor, 4 strength. This is a pretty solid team. His record implies that he's okay. I think Norse is a bit bad usually. I know I'm not a big fan of Norse. They're kind of fragile, and no one I've seen it play them in the league makes them work. Apart from people like Ornan, but I mean personally, I've never seen a person personally make it work.
I think they do seem to do pretty well against things like elves, though, and it's not a bad division for them. You've got what 3 or 4 elves in the division, Skaven.
Yeah,
They could do all right, I think. It could be
I I
favourable conditions.
I think mid-table purely because they're such a high variance team that it could go either way. They could like absolutely shoot to the top, or they could just fall apart because they got cast in the first game out of you know.
His complete lack of draws tends to imply, yeah, everything maybe it goes great or it just goes terribly.
Yeah, it's like it's worth pointing.
So yeah,
It's worth pointing out we've got a reel on how some of these people are going to be doing from the get go because as you mouse over their things, it says, have they won one yet? Have they lost one? But let's just ignore that conveniently for the time being. But I say mid table, you say mid table. We'll move on now to greener pastures with Thermonuclear Pom, which is coached by Calcium, infamous coach for his CCL exploits. But then
just
again,
scroll down a little bit and see those hobgoblins there.
yeah, 3 mighty blow. Well, yeah, 3 mighty blow, 3 dirty player. Calcium knows what he wants to do, and I completely respect that. One of his blockers being skill level equals claw pom. He knows what his team is all about. You got to respect it. You got to love it. Calcium is a good coach. We're now actually getting into territory where I know these coaches. I know Calcium. 824 is a brilliant record. He's a CCL qualifier on the PS4. Come over to the PC recently. But otherwise, we know he's fantastic. He had a fantastic first season. This is a season 1 team. Despite having not many skills on the team, he does have 1 claw mighty blow, but it's also crippled. But
it's not the worst, but it's not great, is it?
Yeah.
An injury.
But then again, he's shown he doesn't need all of these skills to do well. He'll continue to do well, I think, in this division. He might be found out a bit because he will be playing Season 3 teams as a Season 2 team, which could mean that he'll get stomped on a little bit just by team development. But then again, it's not like he's facing millions and millions of high TV orcs and chaos and that.
Maybe not stumped on, maybe played around, but I think he's going to be able to stand up to pretty much anything that gets thrown at him with this.
And besides, like you could just see, for example, the Claw Mighty Blow piece that he has just get 50 SPP in the season and then just be a complete terror in the night. You don't know. He knows what he's doing. He'll absolutely just smash people to bits with his with good positioning and also his dirty player haul. I would say I would tip him to be one of those coaches to be up there for qualification for one of the cups.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've seen, this is the team I'm guessing other people will not want to play. You'll be looking at your fixture list, seeing when these guys come up.
Yeah, it'll suck because you know he's a good coach and he'll like smash your team apart and he'll do damage essentially. The thing is that because he lacks guard, he really lacks guard. He'll be in trouble in certain matchups like the Orcs. He could do poorly against.
He could get bogged down, yeah.
But I think he can play around that still. And plus, we don't know how he'll be. And if he has 3 or 4 games where he weathers that and then gets like guard here and there, he'll be fine.
Those bull centaurs are both close to their next level.
Yeah.
That could become exciting.
Yes, definitely, definitely. We'll see how that kind of turns out. Moving on though, because there's not too much to say about that team. We know he's a good coach, but the team is bare bones, pretty much.
Absolutely.
We'll go on to the Khemri team, which is block you like a hurricane.
Is that like a character limit, or is this?
It's character limit. Yeah, I don't think it's like a thing. I don't think it's a thing. It's just too long of a
Must be
name.
a hurricane, not a hurricane.
Well, if he was all named after like, I don't know, cans, then cans of bachelor's soup.
I don't know this naming theme though. Something's going on here, but
I have no idea. I can't tell the theme. Sky Talon, I think it's his name. Tell us what your theme is in the comments below, because we want to know. We have no idea. Sometimes
very curious.
Sometimes the continental coaches, those from like Northern and Central Europe, just have weird naming schemes I have no idea about.
They've got very different hinterlands to us, yeah.
Yeah. My themes are all like music. Usually, I usually have like a musical theme, and like I see some people have like just pun themed, but this is something.
This is could be very highbrow. We don't know, might be with it.
Yeah, we're highbrow. Maybe this is highbrow in like Central Europe. I don't know. I'm also making the assumption that he's like a German or like a Scandinavian. He could not be. He could just be like
all these Rudolphs and Klauses and what have. Yeah,
he could be like I'm from Dublin, for all we know. But this is a terrifying team because it's Mighty Blow. It's 5 Mighty Blow and then two Dirty Player. Yeah, this is a Season 1 Khemri team. It's scary for a Season 1 Khemri team. It'll either knock the living fucking shite out of any team it faces, or, well, fail to pick up. He is keeping a lot of money in his bank for some reason.
Oh yeah, big spender. That's...
He already has a dome. He already has a magic dome, and he has like the thing. So I'm guessing
there's not a lot to spend stuff on as Khemri, I find.
It feels like either he was looking to get something from the market, or I don't know. I guess what he should do from now is like pick up a throw raw and then get the bench back.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to buy one because it is notable. There's only the one, although it is a nicely made one.
Yeah, he's got the blodge, no, not blodge, just dodge.
He's got the double at least, yeah.
Yeah, which means that he will be dodging for 75% at least out. So don't hate that at all. Yeah, this is a pretty solid team. Tomb Guardian's well on the way. There's one that's a little bit lagging behind, but he'll get his level in one Kaz. The Blitz Rolls are looking pretty nice. He's got his
He's spread the FTP around nicely for a Khemri, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Usually you don't have any sort of say on where it goes, really.
That's impressively, even, which could be a sign of some skill, or maybe it could just be luck, but...
Yeah. And again, like I keep spoiling, like, oh, this is a game that's been played already. Oh, this is why he has this much money, maybe. It would almost work better if this was the pre-cap, but it's not. So, yeah. The team's good. Maybe he lost a throw roll in the game he just played against whomever. Could be possible. I guess I kind of want to look at it. He did suffer 2 deaths. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So did his opponent, Thermonuclear Pom. So he played Gaussium. 2 of the kill teams getting out of the way very fast. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense then. It's kind of sucks that we missed the pre-cap, but whatever. Yeah,
we've got a lot of time to catch up.
Yeah, definitely. But that's a solid team. I don't ever rate Khemri. I see Khemri do well sometimes. I don't rate Khemri though. I just don't like them. Like as soon as they face a team that gets a wizard, they're just fucked. And if they're playing away and they get like bad weather, they're done in as well.
There's a lot of, like I say, Elves and Skaven. They don't love playing those guys, do they?
Yeah. I mean, like at the same time, Khemri can actually be played solidly and like consistently, and you can get like a pretty solid record. But I just don't back them. I don't rate them. Sorry. If someone can shout at me and go, but Khemri are this good,
I
Have you seen?
like Khemri, but I feel like partly that is because they're not that good.
Yeah,
A soft spot for that. Or the agility too, dodging away on the 75%. I'm thinking that's good. That appeals to me.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's solid though, isn't it? But yeah, maybe mid-table.
Mid-table for me, just because I think there's going to be other teams that we're going to say like, oh, this is more consigned to the depths, and like he has a decent record. His team is coming along. He has those games where he can just do everything that he wants to do. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. We'll now move on to the high elf team that is coached by Ricky Titan, the Duostuco Dragons. I think this has been around for one season. Yep. Uh,
Trim.
it's
Oh, right, 'cause
it's
of
trim
injuries.
because of MMGs. He seems to have played the game as well. Annoyingly. Uh, oh,
Pretty selfish.
oh, that's sad. His strength up,
Yeah, that is.
that sad strength up catcher being niggled is very sad.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's a
you'll keep it, I think, but it's going to just be people are going to hit it all day, aren't they?
well. The thing is, like, he needs 2 level ups for the blodge, so like, and he has a niggle. Oh yeah, this team is like really just. Oh my god,
It's painful to
this
look
is
at.
a pain. Yeah, we're gonna look into this game to see how much of this is affected, like, by the game he just played. He played Crepsilum. He suffered a death. Oh, Lone Linesman doesn't matter. 2 injuries inflicted, so he just must have taken that 1 niggle and like an M&G.
Which is, yeah, that's. I mean, I'd be tempted not to fire him just because he'll die quite soon
Well,
anyway. I
he
think.
can't afford to fire anything because he has a niggled blitzer he has to replace. He has now the niggled catcher. The linesman is fine, but he also has a edge down catcher, which is useless. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess he has like nerves of steel, so he's always catching on a 3+ with catch. But
Yeah,
that's the 1 in 9. It's not good.
it's not ideal. And like you said, without dodge, you can't even get much use out of Nerve of Steel, can you?
This team looks like a team that's like just come out of the greenhorn. And this is why I said I didn't want to like judge the Camry team so like bottom down, so below, because I think this is a team that I could say you're like fighting uphill from game 1 or game 2. This is a team that's more likely to end up at the bottom of the table for me, or towards the bottom. No offense to Ricky Titan. Again, I don't know his coaching skill. We barely know any of these coaches here, but this team, just like how it's the lumps it's taken in the first game and how it like, must have been before the first game, and how its treasury situation looks from the get-go now, I don't rate his chances of doing very well.
I feel like you're firefighting from game 1, aren't you? With this,
Yeah.
you're not getting a standing start. You're on the back foot off the get-go. You've got your thrower to your catcher, the one blodge guy, as like a semi-reliable goal threat. But beyond that, there's not a lot going on, is there?
No, the team is literally entirely at this point the linesman of the edge up. That's about it. Like, it has like a guard linesman in the making. You do have a blodge blitzer, I guess, and a blodge catcher, but the only superstar is the edge up linesman. And hey, when he comes back and you get wizards all the time against the higher teams, then it'll be okay. But at the same time, even though you have that piece, and even though your team is a bit busted, when all these are back, and then he gets the loner linesman or whatever from game 3, maybe, he's still looking at being about TV 400, like 1400. And considering there's some low TV teams in this division thus far, he probably won't even get like the wizard advantage. His team will be struggling, I think, from the get-go.
About the only positive I can see is almost everybody is close to a level up, which could drag him up a bit.
It's just a bit. The only issue, the only real issue, is that half of those pieces are also just dead anyway.
Yeah, it's horrible. I feel bad looking at this team.
Yeah, but actually, you want a team you're gonna feel bad about looking at. Let's go on to the Nurgle team, because this Nurgle team isn't a season old. It was a season old, but it didn't go through Greenhorn. It must have been a ramp up team or something.
Oh right. Oh wow. Yeah.
So
Bleak.
let's look at the positives. You have a stand firm beast of Nurgle. That's
Stand firm
nice.
for a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a move up block Pestigore who will become a good like ball handler. That's good. He's close to his next level as well. It's all good. He has a block mighty blow Nurgle warrior. Okay, you have reliable. He has reliable hitters.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about all the things that ain't so good about the team, which is the fact that it has skills nowhere else. There's a few pieces that are quite close to like leveling up and getting like block on the Nurgle warriors, but this is very much the epitome of a first season Nurgle team, and it's a bit of a travesty he's having to play against what, a season 3 like Norse team or a season 3 Chaos team. Like
He's even going to struggle against that Khemri team, I think, with this lot, aren't you?
although the Khemri team will absolutely dominate him, like it'll potentially knock him to smithereens. Um,
It's a risk, isn't it? There's some
yeah,
nasty teams for you because you want. I'm guessing this coach is gonna. Who is the coach here?
Project
Is it?
Angel.
He knows what he's doing as Nurgle. You're gonna just come in and sit along for the ride, but you'd hope for a slightly friendlier opposition, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like his record for a first season Nurgle team, which would have been 3-4-4, isn't bad at all. It's pretty okay. It's solid enough.
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure the coach, like in his own way, is probably a decent coach. No criticisms of his coaching ability or anything. This first season Nurgle or second season Nurgle sucks, and he's barely on the precipice of level up in like certain pieces. So it's not even like he's a team going into season 2 very close to like having an SPP boon. He'll have like if he gets 2 Kaz here and there or Kaz here and there, he will maybe get some block, but then he still looks a bit weak on the ground.
Even at the end of the season, this could look quite barren.
Yeah.
She said. But like you say, it's near nothing against the coach. It's just the team doesn't give him a lot of utility to let him show what he can do. I think, does it?
Yeah, and actually, speak of the devil, I looked into who he played, and he just finished playing the Norse team. So he got one of the scariest teams out of the way first, and 21 armor breaks from the Norse compared to his 6.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's a sign of things to come, maybe.
yeah.
But nothing too awful.
No,
It
it's
didn't get any. Yeah, no Nurgle warriors died or anything.
yeah. Apart from like, oh yeah, he has 2 rotters out. One's edged down. You can keep that and just say, well, you're on the line.
Yeah, he's still got block. It's fine, isn't it?
It's okay. It's only an agility down. It's not like a niggle. The other
No,
one's
he's that
just an
many
M&G.
judges. So yeah, as long as he doesn't take too much damage, he could get a solid 10th spot or something.
Yeah, he's towards the bottom of the table. Again, no offense to you, Project Angel. Not because you're because of your coaching ability. It's just that you will suffer first season Nurgle, or second season Nurgle, and like my heart goes out to you, pretty much.
Yeah, we're going purely off the teams here. This is
Yeah,
This
yeah,
looks like the hardest team to play of all the ones we've looked at, doesn't it?
yeah, definitely. Um, we'll move on because there's not too much to talk about that team again.
Unless you're sad. Yeah,
We'll move on
makes
to
me
Woof
upset.
Bark's team. And, okay, so if I had to say, who do I think is going to be the person who wins this division? Woof Bark only has like a pretty decent first season. I think it is first season, yeah. First season Skaven team. 11-1-2 is stunning. I think he was ramp up for a game, moved on to Metals division, and just like, just
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Woof Bark is a
Wow.
brilliant coach. There is no doubt about his coaching abilities. Not only did he, I think it was a complete unbeaten season for GMAN and Clan, but Woof Bark is also a CCL champion. He has won the CCL before with Chaos, I think, maybe Chorfs. I think it's Chorfs. He won with Chorfs. He has a natural one-turner. That gutter runner, that's a Sacker, is amazing. Roll 2 doubles and a strength up. He has a guard, gutter runner. Crystal Hunter 2 is a little bit weak, but who cares? Both of his killer Storm Vermin are online. He has some like line rats that, you know, unfortunate niggle here and there, but they're just there to take the LOS hit, so I'm sure he doesn't care at all. Then
He'll be cycling them out at quite a rate, won't he?
you might either get an extra linesman or fire the niggled one, because niggle I just don't like anyway, and replace him with that. But there is pretty much no weak part about this team. It's a bit fortunate that his natural one-turn has armor down, so he definitely shouldn't be taking the pitch if he can help it. But
Is that a purchase? Is that from the market, that guy? Got a suspicion it might be.
Quittering Chick... yeah, that is 41 matches it's played, so it can't have been on Woof Bark's team. Um,
But
and
it's the dream purchase, isn't it? Getting a natural 1 cent that you can just bring into the team.
yeah, I should have questioned that. Be like, wait, you have a piece that's 149 SPP. How the hell did you get that in 11 in
Scoring
13
4
games?
touchdowns a game, yeah.
It also makes no sense compared to like the rest of his theme, because they're all like
That's what made it
CCL.
stick out.
They're all
Yeah,
CCL jokes. Um, yeah, okay, yeah. I guess this is kind of evidence why the market's a little bit broken, a little bit of an issue.
But
Uh,
natural 1 turner does seem like a little bit much, doesn't it?
well, yeah,
But
I mean,
at the same time,
I
fair
got a
play.
whole claw pom blitzer for my underworld team from the market as well, so I'm not going to complain because it helped me out. But fuck me, yeah, this is a team that's going to lay.
Everyone else in the division is going to hate that, aren't they?
So I think you and I are both unanimous in our perception. This is going to be the team to beat. It's going to be probably our championship team.
Yeah, I think so. You say the coach is very good. Even without that,
Yeah,
I think you put this team right up there.
yeah,
And if he's a
precisely.
very good coach as well, it's going to be tough ask for anyone else, I think.
And he has played his game against the Jopen Craft Beers or Jopen Craft Beers. I'm not sure. He won that one, so he's already off to a good start. Woof Bark, please impress us. We
Yeah.
would love to see you do well. Go on to the
Yeah.
Dark Elves now. Our second Dark Elf team, that is. And again, this is a team that's not that special.
Two
It,
doubles, yeah, that's it's very similar in that sense, isn't it? Again,
yeah, my criticism of the team really is you have like I guess Elf team's kind of like a two-man bench, but it's kind of like the skills are kind of more equally spread across all of the pieces, which I think adds to the TV a little bit. It's not as
it's high TV for what it looks like, isn't it?
yeah, it's not as effective of a team as the previous Dark Elf team that we saw. For me,
I think you're right. I think this doesn't look quite as nice. I think
That's-
mostly because the Witch Elf, you don't have that one star. Like you say, it's all quite even across the board.
yeah,
It's fine. Again, no big weak spots. You've got your one guard. Again, you've got your mighty blow.
yeah. Well,
But
he has the
yeah,
pieces to like become a really great team, and
absolutely.
it's worth pointing out this is a first season team. This is a ramp up team or something, or a fresh division team because it's 6-2-3, so decent record. And for elf teams do get to this position really early on. I have like a 7 game old team in CCL, which is like it has all blodge across the blitzers. It has like strength up blodge. It has a edge up blodge. It has a mighty blow block witch. Like it's really online, and that just happens in 6 or 7 games. So and it is quite close to the other team. Not as effective, but it's for playing 11 games or so. This is still a team that can be very competitive, and I think he has such a good chance of performing pretty decently, being up there in the top part of the table.
I think so. Yeah, like I say, it has a good record coming into this. And like I say, yeah, you just got to lay the foundations down. You get a few boring skills out of the way, which he's done a lot of that work, and then you can start getting the flashy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see that with the Mighty Blow Blitzer, which will be Terror in the Night. Although I'd recommend to Siggy Kanigi, whatever his name is. Yes, I don't know. This is gonna be like a Spicosaurus situation where it's like
Oh,
if you
I'm
feel like
worried about saying that guy's name ever.
yeah, you're gonna feel like a racist. So we're gonna say Siggy Kanigi.
I like that.
Yeah, we're
good
gonna
with
find out. Yeah, I will say like this is gonna be like a Spicosaurus situation. It's also like a Chug Mammoth situation where it's like, it's just
I haven't questioned you on that yet. I'm just letting that sit there.
oh yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun. Like you go to a tournament or you like follow someone on Twitch and they're like, "Oh, thanks for the follow." It was really fun making the sage read that out. Kind of like side-eyed it. You could tell he was like, "Oh no, should I say that?" Yeah,
Committed,
yeah.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, this is a pretty solid team. It's first season as well. It has skills. It can compete. It needs like tackle here and there, I would say.
Yeah, that's probably the one big lack, isn't it? But yeah, I think depending on the coaches, could be mid-table or it could be a little bit higher.
Like my perfect like first game or second game for this team for me would be score a casualty and a touchdown on the blitzer with Mighty Blow, get the second touchdown on the Witch Elf, then it's like really good stead to like be amazing by game 4 or 5. And he has actually played his game, and he has played against the Alfheim artist, the other Dark Elf coach.
I read that little.
So we have had our Dark Elf off already, and he actually fell in favour of this team.
Didn't go the way we would have said. Yeah, that's interesting.
That is interesting. So
I'll have to look at that game, see what went on there.
yeah, definitely. We wish we could do that today, but we don't do thing. We don't bother. We don't try.
Don't do any play, no research. No, yeah,
No,
we're not like that.
We'll do research next time. But the thing is, like, I had Dr. Hep as my co-caster, and because he would like be like, oh, yep, I have notes on this and that. I could just be as lazy as I want to be like, yeah, thanks for.
Is that him? That I should be coming with a
Yeah, he
spreadsheets on the go for next time.
Yeah, he start. Yep, he should know what side his bread is buttered on. He knows where he came from. It was my lazy stream where I didn't do anything. I was like, yeah, can you do that? Cheers. Thank you.
He's a good lad, Dr. Hep, though, isn't he?
So, oh yeah, he's fantastic. Nice bloke.
He loves to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's also our boss, so we have to say nice things about him.
I'm reading off a sheet.
Contractually have a gun to our head. I believe it was in a boking accident. I have to go now. Yeah. But we'll move on to the next. Just to say that team, I think, is going to be a competitive team. It could actually be like an upper mid-table team. I have a lot of like time for first season or second season Dark Elf teams. We know they can win. They won the Super Bowl this season. Darvo got to the semi-finals a few seasons ago. We know they really are competitive. They'll do very well. But we'll move on now to the Orcs. They have like the Orc roster already up, so we'll get to that now. This is literally less than a season old. This is 8 games. This is a ramp-up, coach, I assume.
I don't even have this team. They're not even on the website. This is terrible.
G&M's messengers.
Massages. Oh, yeah, they've just come in just now. Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go. All the brothers.
Yeah, Ratto, Snick.
Wow. Yeah, this is a cheap team.
Yep. He'll get inducements, so he'll definitely be falling like Varagulchu or whatever, or Ripper, which is pretty good. But hey, it's actually, although like it doesn't have too much of the Black Orcs, those are very undeveloped. The Blitzers are all online. They all have their own thing. He has a nice little adjunct Blitzer, which is always nice. That can win you games single-handedly. He has 3 instances of guard. You might prefer to him to go block first on the Black Orcs, but hey, it does mean he's a little bit more competitive from the get-go. Sometimes guard first does work, even if it's not the best for team building. 4-3-1 in terms of his record is stunningly good, even in just like if you're playing in ramp up or whatever. Really, really quite impressive. Yeah, hats off to Rattlesnake for getting that record. His team looks... It's going to struggle, but...
For a team with 5 level ups, they're quite good level ups.
They are good level ups, and
it's only 5, isn't it?
It can be competitive. It can be an okay team. He has no... I guess he carries on a Blitzer, which is always a debatable option.
All AV9 though, so I guess...
Yeah.
Coming in for a rumble, and it looks like he knows what he's doing with that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, like... Actually, let's compare this to the other Orc team in the division. I actually like this team a little bit more than the other Orc team, purely because it's not like you're carrying a niggle dead Blitzer, or you know, you're not.
As a fresh, you're not dragging anything. No time to make mistakes. It's all just.
Yeah, precisely. Like, obviously, it doesn't have all the advantages of like all the block on the Black Orcs. Like, it doesn't have any of that, which is the stronger part about that Orc team. So if you had to see those 2 Orc teams face off, you'd probably still say, well, the other Orc team, by virtue of being 2 or 3 seasons old, should win.
Running to each other. Yeah. He's gonna win there, isn't he? But
I still like this team a bit more because I think it has more potential. It has like less of a. It has the objective to build and to win, rather than like scramble to make sure your treasury's okay, rebuy pieces, then rebuild them. Like, some of these pieces will level up on their own accord. Others just need a little bit of tender love and care, and they'll get there by itself, essentially.
It's quite an unknown quantity as well, isn't it? I guess you don't really know what you're running into with this. It doesn't give anything away with what's going on.
Yeah, and I have no idea who Rattlesnake is. He's not on my radar. However, he's evidently a pretty good coach. So this is this is for me a dark horse. I don't think he can really compete as like as an 8-team old Orc team. But Orcs can kind of compete. They can kind of compete even when they're like that young. They're not terrible.
Their floor is high, isn't it? As Orcs, you aren't. They're just so solid, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is your dark horse pick for the season.
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna say dark horse pick. Just because I don't think it's gonna like. I don't think it's like a shoe in for Sippy Cup or playoffs, but it could do surprisingly well. I think it's more so like interesting to watch to see how it like develops. I would say.
This team could well be the one that looks the most different at the end of the season compared to the start, isn't it?
Yes, 100%. And yeah, so that's why I rate it pretty highly. Now we have one more team, and this team isn't actually on the old Rebel yeah.
You're gonna have to read them out to me.
Yeah, I'll read them out to you. This is on rebel.net, I think, but it's not on the actual.
Is it? I'm on Rebel now, so it's alright. Which one are we going for here then?
The team name should be Alligator Aid. It's not on the actual main thingamabob. It's not in the league. It's not in the division yet. It's still being placeholdered. Right. But I found it through.
I can only see it as a placeholder at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should I just read them out to you? It's fine. I can do that.
This is high tech.
Well, imagine the Saurus team, right? It's the Saurus team. We have all block on the Saurus.
It's good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you like that. A block on the Croxagore and a guard on the Croxagore as well.
Very nice.
It has a 1 block Tacklesaurus.
Not bad. Not actually sounding good.
1 Blodgesaurus.
Ooh, tasty.
However, one of the Sauruses with block is niggled.
Don't love it.
One of the Saurus with the Blodge is armor down, so he's armor 8.
Ah, oh, that hurts.
Yep. Also on this team, we have a movement up skink with catch.
The dream.
But he's double niggled.
Oh, no.
We also have a block sidestep skink.
That's pretty good.
He's also strength down.
What's going on?
Yeah, this team's maimed. All of its good pieces, like interesting pieces, are dead. Which could be the reason why he's like, I don't want to take my placehold. I don't want to come in.
Is there a reason why he's not doesn't want to play one skink?
Maybe he signed up and was like, I can't wait to play more Blood Bowl, and then he looked at his team and was like, oh wait, I don't want to play my team. This is a season 1 old team, so for all block on the Sauruses, you know, and
that's still good though, isn't it? That's
Yeah, so he has potentially a chance to do pretty well. But the problem is that he's also having to rebuild his team massively, unfortunately. So Darkusel is the coach we're waiting for, and it's also this team, because it has 14 players, 4 rerolls in their Apothecary, is at 1790 TV.
I was gonna say it could be quite lean, but actually no.
It's stupidly bloated. Now, truth be told, when he fires the 2 skinks and all that, maybe it's a new Saurus down the line, this would be pretty lean. I think he should fight, even with the move up, it's like niggled. If it's not a natural 1-turn or an age-up, then who cares? It's just
a niggled skink. It's not going to survive the first hit, is it?
And you're not going to keep a bloody Noblar skink, even if it has Blodge sidestep.
As fun as it is, yeah, there's no way that can be good.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, I'm not. I just so feel bad for this guy who was like, oh, I got a Blodgesaurus, instant armor down. But I guess 4 strength Blodge, he might keep that. To be fair, the niggled one.
It's still not bad, is it? Well, you still talk about the mighty blow before, the armor down, but you have dodge.
Yeah.
Does it kind of balance out? Yeah.
It does. I think it'll be okay. And to be fair, there is a Killosaurus walking around in one of the divisions with like 7 armor, and he hasn't been fired yet.
Basically like that War Dancer.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think he should fire the 2 niggled pieces and then also the strength down piece. But while this team needs to rebuild a little bit, the rest of the team is actually pretty healthy. Block on everything with above strength 4 is stunningly good. He has like a lot to like be happy about this team, especially considering this is a season 1 old and he has block on everything that needs block.
MVPs must have been a dream, and a double for the Croxagore.
And he's 854 on his record, so pretty good coach, evidently.
I think really, if you've got block on all the Sauruses, you're fine with fresh skinks. I think that's still a decent team, really.
Yeah, so hopefully he's not like, I don't want to play the team because I'm
Hopefully, yeah, he
terrified.
shows up and he's real.
Yeah, so please,
I think he could actually do
Darkuzel.
pretty well with a team like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a one where it's like, I'd say mid-table to upper mid-table. He could be a second Dark Horse. I just hope to God he shows up and is like, hi guys, just was on holiday. Because it is the summer
Yeah,
still. It's the summer still, so.
yeah, it's all like halcyon days. I think give him a pass, but because he could really do some work, he could finish in the top half. I think.
Yeah, he looks like he has a decent team and a strong record, so we hope to see Darkuzel in with us soon. But with that kind of maimed but still pretty good Lizard team, we now finish the team section of the recap. Now, as we've pointed out, there are like a few teams that have played, so we'll be like generally ignoring this season. This we won't be doing predictions for the game 1, but we will be doing predictions for game 2.
Right.
Yeah, we'll look at we've already looked at some of the things, some of the results, but that's about it. We'll recap those ones like next week. We'll just ignore them for now, and we'll go on to predicting what's going to happen in game week 2. Briefly, quickly, because we are over an hour already, and I have to walk the dog and everything. So let's get this kind of started.
Just through these good reactions.
Yeah, boom, let's do this. Rimbo's Orcs versus Woof Bark's Mischief. You have a Orc team that only has 1 or 2 star players. It has 2 pieces out, including 2 blitzers for the next game. Against the Skaven team for an actual 1-turner. I don't think this Orc team has a chance in hell.
I think we're going to agree on this one. Could be 3-1 or something like this.
It could be 3-1. Both coaches probably know what they're doing, but Woof Bark is exceedingly strong, has the better team. Win for me. But then we have the Nurgle, the Cow Radian Crusaders versus Dusseldorf Rainfire. So that is the Nurgle versus the Dark Elves. The newer Dark Elves, that is, but doesn't really matter. You have a Nurgle team with essentially 5 skills versus a fully online and effective Elf team. Yeah, this is going to be another loss for the Nurgle, I think.
I think so. I mean, they'll get some inducements, but it can only go so far.
Yeah, in terms of inducements, not sure what you'd take, even. You could get something like Lewd Grip, but he's not that good.
It's not going to make up the difference, ultimately, is it, I think?
Yeah, definitely. And plus, a wizard's not that effective. It's not a lot you can get.
Yeah, it's not the dream.
You could get bribes, but you don't have a dirty player, I don't think. So, we then have Block You Like a Hurricane versus Alligatorade.
Ooh, I think Alligatorade, if he turns up, could steal this.
Could steal it. Yep, definitely. The only issue is that he can go skink hunting. The Camry coach. In addition, a lot of Mighty Blow on the Strength 5 pieces, so he could just break Lizard Arm like mad. It's one of those high variance games for me. I think he can be quite easily controlled by the Sauruses, but the Camry have a few tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah, what do you reckon for that? It could go either way. I'm going to back the Lizards, I think, but...
I want to lean towards Lizards to say 2-1 Lizards, but I do think it's one of these games that could go 1-1.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, I think.
Yeah. So, hard to call. 1-1 for me, but Lizards being backed there by Lord Brainlord. We'll now move on to Thermonuclear Pom versus Diastuco Dragons. That will be the Chorves versus the High Elves. As we mentioned, the High Elf team has no players. Literally no players.
Dreading this game. This is the last game you want to go into with a team that looks like that, isn't it?
Now, there's one good thing about this matchup, at least. I mean, I didn't do the maths. I think he might be able to squeak a Wizard. I think 70, 70, 70. No, maybe not even. Maybe barely he can get. Maybe barely he'll get a Wizard, but.
I think he can, yeah, which could work, but I think he's going to get taken apart, isn't he? It's going to be horrible.
Yeah, he'll get a Wizard and the Babe, I think, from my rough maths. Yep. Well, the good thing, I guess, the one saving grace, I think, is the Claw Pom piece. No, just a Claw Might Blow piece, not Pom. I just assume they had Pom already. The Claw piece is 3 movement, so you can run away from it. But
And
then
if you just knock it over, you're basically locking it down, aren't you?
yeah, but again, the Ball Centaur does have block Mighty Blow, so he does have a mobile hit you threat, and if one thing goes down, he gets stomped on. You know, there's a massive bench. Yeah, so
I think this is going to be probably a 1-0, but with a full cast box.
yeah, this is probably going to be a dicing. It's probably going to be Calcium will smash a shite out of poor High Elves.
I would not want to be Ricky Titan. Yeah,
No, absolutely
not.
Already. We then have the Norse versus GM's Messagers. I'm always going to say messengers. Yeah, Freya's
messages.
Yeah, massages. Messenger. No, it's messages. Yeah. What is this? Oh, what? Okay, I just can't bloody read then. I'm in. Yeah.
That's
yeah. I have a university degree, but this is just when my dad comes and goes, "What did they teach you at university?" I'm like, nothing. Not how to read, evidently. That's what you should have taught me to do, and I didn't end up learning it.
Thanks a lot. Dan.
Yeah, that is Norse versus the old.
Our very barren, nothing Orc team, 5-skill Orc team.
Well, you know, the Orc team actually does have like Mighty Blow here and there. It does have Guard. It actually outguards the.
They could do okay here because they'll be getting a bucket of inducements.
They'll get like Varag, definitely. So they could just use all of that to smash the like nonsense out on the North. They could get Varag and a Wizard, I think. So although Claw, Mighty Blow, and the Yeti is scary, they do have Pom.
Scary.
They do have Pom, because like and they have also the ability to strength bully them a bit because they have 5 strength, 4 strength, 4 strength, 5 strength. So they are, although it's like a game where they get outguarded, they can still strength lock a certain amount of the Orcs. Mighty Blow could fire. It is high variance matchup. That's why Norse are shite, because even when the Norse are okay, you're still facing a 9-armor team at the end of the day with a bit of Mighty Blow that they have. So like you're still relying on like, dicing the nonsense out of the Orcs and breaking all their armor before they break your armor. So to be honest, probably the Norse, because the Norse like do have 8 movement. They do have really good removal potential.
But I want to say the Orcs. I'm going to go for the Orcs. I just feel like it might happen. You never know.
Well, I think the Orcs have a good chance because not only do the Orcs like have 9 armor and Mighty Blow and some guards, they also have a bench, and they can get even more of a bench if they so wanted to. So it will be hard to be like out remove them. So
and if the armor holds up, it'll be tough because the armor 7 is only going to hold up so long.
Absolutely.
That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm gonna back the Norse. You can back the Orcs.
I'm gonna back the Orcs. Just give it a bit. You can't just agree all the time. Let's
Perfect. Bit of balance to the world.
Love it. Yeah.
We'll now move on to the second to last fixture, the penultimate one. That is Jopen Craft Beers versus Legion of Dead Metal.
First of all, same emblem. I don't like that, guys. That's terrible. God.
Disgusting. But this is a weird game to call.
It's quite finely balanced, would you say?
Yeah, it's like both teams can kill. The fact is that Krepsum's team is healthy compared to the old Orcs, not the Orcs, the Chaos, and also has more reliable skills than just Mighty Blow on like.
Yeah, his skills are more constructive places as well, I think.
Yeah. And plus, when you have a 9 movement 4 Wolf, you just win games at the back of that as well, while the Chaos have no comparable star player.
Yeah, not even really close, I'd say. You've got your Blodge Beastman is as fancy as it gets.
Yeah, and like he can win games by himself, but like he's still doing things on 3 edge, so it's not that great. So for that reason, I think that the Necromantic is much more finely tuned, and the Necromantic also get like a babe in inducements, so they like even the Mighty Blow might not work at all because you have regen and a babe. So for me, Necromantic have this game.
I think I'm agreeing with you on this one. I think Crepusculum is going to bring it home.
Yep, I also think Crepusculum is a very good coach. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I'm like there's there's like words or names that you see written down, you just assume you know how to pronounce them, and when you open them out.
I actually meant to look up how to pronounce this before, and I didn't. So
oh yeah, well let's just say we're both right, because I know
absolutely.
Yeah, I just know for a fact that there's like plenty of words out there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to pronounce that, and I say it wrong, and they're like, you stupid. I'm like, no. I just was embarrassed to ask.
You've got to get this quick, because if if it goes on too long, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. We'll never learn the right way. So
Well,
get into
I
it, guys.
recapped my own division last season. I recapped like him for 13 games. So if you didn't like say you pronounced my name wrong, I'd be a little bit, well, that's your own fault.
Could be very. You've left it too long now, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. He's just
you missed your
embarrassed. Like I wanted to tell him, but I don't want to make him feel stupid. But guess what? I already feel stupid.
chance. I already am stupid.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do about that?
Yeah. And now our last game is the Elfheim Artists versus Shergard Elf Storage. Dark Elves versus Wood Elves. Actually, a bit of a scary game for both teams.
Could be 5 or 6 touchdowns here as well.
Could be a score out. I would if it was just a scoring game, I would absolutely back the Wood Elves. But also something to point out: even though they have 7 armor and some loners, they have the better removal potential because they are the ones who have Mighty Blow.
And indeed,
Yeah.
piling on War Dancer.
Oh god. And also, I think what did they? Let me just check the team again. Yeah, they also outguard technically the Dark Elves.
Yeah, they might actually win a straight up fight, and they have more tools to do other stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean the thing to mention is that they do have their guard and 2 strength. So a lot of the time when you have guard and 2 strength, it's just like, oh, you have guard. I ignore that just to punch you for 2 dice anyway. And also if one of your war dancers out for the next game. Actually, oh no, this will be back. Yeah, this will be back. This will be back because he hasn't played his game yet. So.
Oh, you get to that. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
full strength.
Yeah, definitely. So
It's quite tough to call this, though. I'd still say.
I think I'm gonna back the Shergard Elf Storage because not only is this a fantastic scoring team by itself, it's also like it can play against the higher armor elf teams and have the tools to deal with it. And doesn't matter how like effective all of the blodge sidestep is on that team, you have Mighty Blow piling on tackle and strength up. So we'll see the Dark Elves become a victim, I think.
I think probably agree, but I'm going to say a draw just to be different. But I think it could go either way. Lose a War Dancer early, you never know. But...
This is absolutely at the game where it's like elf games often are decided by who fails their first score attempt. Like I've so many times been in an elf game where I've just like me and my opponent have lost our nerve and we've been caught up in like a 2-turn into 2-turn into 2-turn kind of like scoring deal. And then someone fails, and it's either they lose like 3-2 because they lose the tempo of the game entirely, or like I played a tournament on Saturday where I started out with my Pro Elves versus a Wood Elf team on tabletop, and he failed like he snaked something, like he snaked to dodge, and let me score for a 2-1, and then
the snakes are gonna be very important for that.
Yeah, not only are snakes gonna be important, but once he'd like let in that touchdown and started losing some players, the tempo shifted so badly from like it going to be a game where it could be like 3-2, 4-3, or even like a draw, and that game turned into me beating him 4-1. So you could even see a blowout depending on who like has a catastrophic turn, and it can happen if both of your teams are running ones.
Yeah, and I think even if it does stay even, the Wood Elves got a much better chance of a 1-turn as well, just to nick it.
Yeah, you have grab and movement 9, technically movement 12 because like of sprint. So you need one push. I
think you've talked me around. I'm back in the Wood Elves here, I think.
Yep. Wood Elves for me. It's just they score better and even punch better. Yep. Okay, well that's it actually. That's all of the predictions for this game week 2.
Will all be right.
Yeah, we'll come back when game week 2's done. We'll look at both game week 2 and game week 1. So you'll see a recap this time next Wednesday. I would say, the Wednesday coming, to all those who are watching. You should get this Tuesday. You should get this today, on Tuesday, right? They'll get this on today. We're sorry we couldn't give you like the full pre-cap that we wanted to. Hopefully this makes up for it by being an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 or however long it is.
We'll make it up for you over the season. Every episode will be a little bit more special than it would be otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll try and look at some of your games, give our like brief like recaps on those games. I promised that I'd edit some of my videos for my like division last season. I didn't do it, and this season I'm going to be bold and say I'm not going to give you any false promises. I'm just not going to edit my videos. I don't want any of you being like, I want the JJ Cash fun cap, or I want Herringzord. Well, guess what? You didn't get them. You got me. So
It got me and me, who's never done this before.
Yeah, Brainlord's just like
Not
coming
that
in
it was scraping the barrel, but
yeah,
I didn't even sign up to do this technically.
yeah, you got press ganged by Dr.
I've
Hep,
been
yeah.
being shanghaied here, yeah.
I
But
signed
yeah,
up in like the last day or two as well. I was just like, oh yeah, I should do this, and so
so yeah, not only the team signing up, even the recappers are only scraping in at the last minute.
yeah. Yep. Well, Forsey, you know, if you came to Rebel because you were told like, oh yeah, they care so much about Blood
Oh, it's
Bowl.
so well run.
Oh
Oh.
yeah, high production quality value, like high value of well, whatever what the words are. I can't get the jumble right. But if you came here because you thought like, oh, this is such high quality, you know, high production values, that kind of thing, guess what? You lucked out. You got me. You got Brain Law. You're not getting any of that. I mean, at least it's not like some of the other leagues who just don't have that at all. Like, there's plenty of leagues that don't have any recaps. They just you play a game, so you're still getting the community. Hopefully, all of you can like really sort of start to enjoy the recaps. You know, have your banter when you win games, lose games. You know, I think the best part of the recaps is when everyone comes together and like having a joke about them.
Absolutely getting some in jokes running.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Very happy.
if you want like something fancy, you want something like make us Infinity War, but for recaps, fuck off. You're not getting them. And this is also where I release the recap and be like, now I have to watch how the entire division improves of this. And I just get messages from Dr. Hep or like whatever and be like, you know, you should be more of a family friendly show. And be like, oh wait, yeah.
Fired from recapping.
Yeah, I'm fired from recapping because I like this is game week 1. You've already told your recappers like your recap group to F off. Okay, well sorry. That's just who I am.
Completely wrong. Like,
I'm just controversial. Okay, I'm just.
We're just keeping it real. We say it like it is.
Keep it real. And with that, I suppose we should say to our division, keep it real. That's us chiming out for the game week 1. We'll come back on game week 2, see how it is. But until then, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Good evening, guys.